Good morning.
Good morning.
Do it again. Good morning.
Good morning. You're like the rabbi.
The rabbis and priests and people in class and professors all have the same deal. We want affirmation. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marty Dorio. I'm the secretary and webmaster for Nmug. We have some other officers here. George Rubin is here. Bob Kennedy is here. Don will be here shortly because I think I'm a minute early. And he was a pilot. Pardon me, he was a pilot, so he will be here. So talk about membership. He's in the back. He will be in the back. For those of you who are interested in our emails, all of our emails are now by position. So if you want to write to me, it's secretary@naplesmug.com. George is vice president at naplesmug.com. Bob is director at naplesmug.com, I think. Are you director or director one?
I'm not sure.
I think you're director, but anyway.
I think it's just
Anyway, if you have questions, feel free to write to us or whatever. Let me just quickly, because we have Chris here. Is anybody else new besides Chris? Let me just quickly go through what we do. And you said you found us on the website, which is really cool, because we spent a lot of money and time on getting the website to work. We meet here every Wednesday at 11:30 until the end of June. We take July and August off, and then we start again in September. We have in September, beginning probably in October, we do a monthly meeting here on the second Monday. Usually a special topic, it's just dedicated to that topic. We have the website, as you know, which has all of our course materials on it, and a lot of information about the club and how we started and our history and everything. There's lynda.com, which George manages. Lynda.com is an online training for 20,000 courses, and you can just sign up through George and any subject that you're interested in, not just computers, anything you want. And then we have an online discussion group on Yahoo, which you have to go to Yahoo, search for Naples Mug, and then apply. It goes to Jerry, who's our president, and then he sends you an invitation and you apply that one. The discussion group is very good. Typically, a member will post a question, and you might get one or two or more answers, depending on if somebody thinks there's a little difference in how to respond. So it's pretty good. We have, of our 460 members, about 400 are on the discussion group. And then we have a mailing list, which is automatic. Once you sign on the website, we add you to our mailing list, and you'll get our notices of meetings and all that kind of stuff. But we also post them on the calendar, so you'll see that as well. So feel free to ask questions. This meeting is very interactive. I don't know all the answers to all the questions, but if I don't know, somebody in the audience probably does. Our philosophy is from many to many. We don't all try to be experts. We all know some certain things. Some of us get specialized in so forth. So let me write down. We have one question so far: how to get the student discount at Apple. Are there other questions this morning? It's going to be a really easy meeting. There's only two questions.
If time allows, could you do a quick rerun of putting captions on clips in iMovie?
Rerun on adding captions. Okay, adding captions. I do know how to spell. I just don't know how to on a clip it on. Sure. Other questions? Go ahead.
Mary, is there a way to stop notes from deleting notes after 30 days?
Sure. Deleting after. Other questions? It's going to be a really easy meeting, man. I don't have to do too much at all. How to get the student discount was Mitch's question. George, you know the answer to that, or I guess you can do it, Phil. You wanna
Yeah, it
comment on
comes
that?
up on their site, and apparently you just hit it, and I was thinking they were gonna ask for some school code or something, but apparently they don't even question it. If you go into the store, they're gonna ask for student ID. If you do it online, they do not appear.
So the discount, so just for everybody, for clarity, you can go to the Apple site to buy something. They will offer various discounts, depends on the kind of hardware you're buying and how expensive it is and all that. But you can get a discount. Sometimes it's 5%, sometimes it's a little more. But with Apple's prices, 5% of $1,500, a lot of money. And they also will discount the Apple Care plan. But you have to say you're a student, you're buying for a student. So if you don't have a grandson you want to buy something for, I have 3, and I have 2 granddaughters. You can just use their name and say you're buying from them. Of course, you have to ship to them, so this is a self-serving thing. But anyway, just kidding.
No, the other way to take advantage of a discount, and I don't know, maybe I should send that out again. I sent it out like 2 or 3 times. Dennis DiGiacomo has an arrangement with Waterside Store, Apple Store, and he gets an approximate, I think, 5% discount for all members of Nmug. And I'll resend out the information.
I got 7 today.
7?
I'm the new iMac.
You had 7% discount today on it?
And you bought it through Dennis?
I'm sorry?
Did you buy it through Dennis's?
Through Dennis.
So what do you have to do?
Probably-
You have to say you're using his
I
company?
said, Dennis told me to say that he sent me.
Okay, so everybody has that.
I'll send you-
Dennis DiGiacomo is one of our consultants. He teaches on Monday nights for us, special topics, identity theft and security, that kind of stuff. But if you go to Waterside and you use his name, you get a discount.
They have a couple of people I work with that take care of his stuff, because they direct it to me.
You have to go see them.
Yeah, to see them.
I'll send the information around to everybody.
Okay?
Marty.
Good morning. You know, it's a $15 fee for being late to my classes. Just saying. It's 11:36, sir.
You pay for being late.
$15, right?
Yeah, this is a little bit off, but I was curious as to, are other people here using the Amazon credit card on their site?
On whose side?
Amazon's.
Using the
You
Amazon
you
credit
have
card
an Amazon credit card?
on the Amazon site.
Okay, and you use the 5%? Okay.
So elaborate on that, because I don't know anything about it.
Well, I have plenty enough credit cards that I just generally avoid getting new ones, and they keep on popping up. We're gonna give you $50 or $70 if you get our credit card. And so finally, I started looking at it, and they did give me $70. They credited my account immediately when I applied for the credit card. But the big thing is, if you're a Prime member, they give you a 5% discount on everything that is Prime. Now, I think the 5% discount comes in the form of a rebate on your statement. Is that how it works, George?
I'm not exactly sure. But it's a very easy process, and I think it does come as a rebate against, or you can apply it in different ways.
Okay. But 5% is a pretty big discount, and so, and I buy a lot from Amazon.
Especially from
so-
Amazon, since they only make about, 0.5%.
Yeah, I mean, so I went ahead and got their card, and in our case, the card just came in my name. I can add other users, but we just both my wife and I use just one account at Amazon, which happens to be my account. But I thought it was, I'm not one to promote credit cards, but a 5% discount on all prime items, and a 70% instant rebate to my account seemed pretty good. So I just got it, I'll let you know how it's going, but they give me the $70 immediately.
I've looked at the $70. When you buy something on Amazon, if you apply using their credit card, if you buy it using their credit card, even if you don't have it, you apply online, they give you the $70 right away.
Right away.
Right away.
Yeah, it's
And
in
then
your
take it
account.
off your purchase.
They'll take it off your next purchase, yeah.
Since you walked in late, do you any questions that you guys have you want to add to the list?
I would like to, an update on the improved battery situation on the iPhone, on these computers, and the iPad. And my question relates to the duration of the function of the batteries, because it seems like that's the important issue about how, that's a major factor in the duration of your equipment. In other words, is it one of the decay mechanisms for batteries is just their age. The second is how they've been used. Is it necessary to run them down all the way occasionally now? Or is their duration affected by the frequency with which they're recharged? What are the factors that should determine the policy about the use of your equipment recharge?
Yeah, let me deal with that now because we only have a few questions. The batteries nowadays, lithium-ion batteries nowadays, don't follow any of the rules that we learned about when we learned about alkaline recharging and deep discharging and all that kind of crap. The lithium batteries have no memory to speak of, and you can charge them every night, and they don't need deep discharge or any of that kind of stuff. So what I do, and what I think the literature says now, is charge it every night if you want, charge it every 2 days depending on how you use it. In my case, I'll probably get to 50% by the end of the day, because I'll be online. I'll do a webinar this afternoon. Right now, I have the display on while we're talking here, so it doesn't keep going off while we're talking. But the lithium-ion batteries don't require any of that stuff that we learned about with alkaline recharging. So you can do almost anything you want.
Just like a brief discussion of VPNs and personal hotspots and security while you're traveling. And also, I have a fishing episode to report that occurred to me yesterday, but I don't know if you want to tackle that. Fishing attempt,
Deep sea fishing.
Yes, I wish. I don't know if this is the forum to report
Sure.
that.
We'll get back to that.
There's
You had a
one
comment
more
on
question
that.
on that battery thing. Do we know what they do before they die?
Like what? I don't
Like,
know.
is there any sign that it's going to go?
Yeah, it goes faster and faster.
No.
You'll wind up discharging much more quickly than when you get a new one. It'll last a day or two or three, and then you'll see it fall off.
You have to do mouth to mouth.
How long?
That's John.
I read not too long ago that if you're going to leave your device unattended for a period of time, you need to be sure and leave it charged or partially, 50% charged. If you put it away with the deleted battery, it can deteriorate or degrade to the point that it will not recover.
I haven't heard that personally. Has anybody else heard anything like that? I don't know. My one rule that I apply is if I'm going to be gone for a long time, I will take the battery out of the device. Now you can't do that with an iPad, but for these kind of things, I would take the battery out of my MacBook Pro, I wouldn't leave a battery in there. If I was going to be gone for 3 months, I don't leave batteries in anything. My cameras, I take the batteries out when I stop using them, I put them back in when I use them. Same thing with my flashes, anything that has removable batteries, I take the batteries out. Even my electric toothbrush, I take it out if I leave it in the drawer, you know, because I only brush my teeth once a month, so. In the middle there, I don't do it. Go ahead.
Can I ask you about, what do you think about getting the new iMac?
I don't have an opinion on that. I haven't even looked at them. Maybe Mitch or George does. Opinion?
Well, it depends upon what. Well, you know, it's an individual decision. There's no more, people always ask me, why did you buy the watch? Or why did you buy a new computer? Or why did you buy the new iPad? And it's like, to me, it's an illness. I just have to have everything that's new that Apple makes. But no, I think it's, if you need a machine, it's a great computer to buy, and everything sounds great from what I heard from the meeting. And somebody else just, one of our members, Tom Middleman, I recommended to him that he buy the 27-inch starter, you know, the lower powered machine. Because the lower powered has got all the power he's ever going to need.
I don't know anything about them at this point. I didn't have time to look at them. So.
I think Apple's announcements were outstanding, and I think the stock will begin to reflect it. And I think
it's
that
up today, so I hope it keeps going.
it's
I wanted to get to 1 million. I wanted to get to 1 million. Then I'll finally be a millionaire. You know, I have 1 share, so if it keeps going. Mary's question was about notes. Notes, when you delete a note, for example, this is the Notes app, right? Everybody knows that. It's this little yellow thing down here at the bottom. You all see that? It's this little guy. When you delete a note, if I take this thing and I delete it, it says deleted notes are moved to the recently deleted file, and they're removed permanently after 30 days. So now I have a recently deleted file here with that note in it, right? And in 30 days it'll get deleted. If I don't want it to do that, I don't put it in a recently deleted file. I put it somewhere else. Now I have a note in this folder, and it's not going to be deleted until I want it to. But you can make your own holding folder or whatever. You know, you just click down at the bottom where it says new folder. You say, I want to put these in here until I'm sure. Right? And then I just drag that note that I don't want to go away into the hold until I'm ready folder. But they have that system. It's the same thing in Photos, right? And it's the same thing in your Pages now and some of the other ones. They have a 30-day cycle. So if you want to get rid of it, if you don't want to get rid of it, they'll go away. But they show you. It'll say in Photos at least. It'll say you have 29 days left and then 28 days, that kind of stuff. But I just make holding folders. I make a lot of folders. One of the things on my to-do list was to talk about notes a little bit. Everybody knows in notes you can have things in the cloud, right, that get synced across your devices. So if I put something into this folder, it will then get synced here or my iPad or my Mac at home. If I put them here, which is the email account, this account is Naples@naplesmug.com. It's our general account for the officers to store stuff and to use them for our demonstrations. Those things don't get synced. They only appear in this account unless I add those accounts to my other devices. So if I have notes that I want to sync, I put them in iCloud and I make a new folder in iCloud for the material that I want to sync across devices. The alternative is Evernote, and some people use Evernote. I use Evernote quite extensively. It's got a nice web clipper. The downside of Evernote is you pay for it if you have more transactions in a month. I think it's, I forget, 50 megabytes of uploading, then you have to pay for the premium service. And if you want more than that, you pay for the deluxe premium, whatever it's called. I was doing that for a while, but Notes is now so good. You can do pictures, you can add to-do lists, you can change the font, you can make these things go away if you don't want to see the little column there. It's got a lot of functionality. Basically, they copy the good apps and make their apps do it. Their Apple copies the good apps and make their apps do whatever it does.
So what you're saying is that for
I don't use Evernote anymore, except for the web clipping functionality. Web clipping works, if you're on a web page and you want to clip it, you just click the little elephant and it'll put a page into your Evernote database, basically.
Can you show us what you're talking about?
Yeah. If I can do this, I don't know if I put it on here. I'm saying that. Yeah, I didn't add it here. Let me see if it's in Chrome. I haven't added it anywhere.
It's just a plug-in on any of the
Yeah,
browsers,
it's
it just
a-
acts as a plug-in.
It's a plug-in, and it would be a
How is that?
it would be a little icon on Chrome, low battery. Why?
Hey, you got a low battery there.
I'm in trouble.
Is the electricity any good there?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why. Oh, maybe I don't have it turned on.
Probably not turned on. It's got on the end, it's got a switch.
You just gotta know about all this electronics, I'm trying to say. Yeah, normally in Safari, there's a little elephant that appears, and then if you wanted to clip a page, you'd be looking at a page, and you just click that little elephant, it would say, do you want to save this page? And boom, it would put it in.
So-
Now in Safari, you actually have that kind of functionality, it's called a reading list, right? So if I were reading a page, let me go find a page. Let's go to google.com. We'll read the finance page. So here's a page. If I wanted to save this in Safari, I would just click Add to Reading List, right? I could add a bookmark, which then puts it in bookmark. But adding it to my reading list, you see that little thing that flew up to the top?
Where's your reading list?
And my reading list is this little bookie thing over here, right? It shows the history. This is history, favorites and history. And here's my reading list. But here's this article that I wanted to save for reading later. It's now called Maple Viewers, Google Arts and Culture. And that's what this is. So you can have a reading list of 1 million things. You don't want 1 million things because you're supposed to be reading them, at some point. But the reading list works really, really well.
Back up there to your selection, but you can just go down and put that in notes right there.
Yeah, you can put it in notes.
So how is that different
You
than,
had it in Evernote.
but how is that different than clipping to Evernote? I mean,
Same. No,
it's the same.
Yeah.
It is the same, okay.
Notes has a lot of functionality now that it didn't have before. Evernote, you can put it in Evernote, but that little clippy thing is nice because it sits on the side and you can say, go clip it. I love reading lists. Most people don't know about reading lists.
I use that all the time.
Reading list. If you're in something, you want to save it. You're in the doctor's office. You're halfway through the article. You want to save it. You just go up here to the share icon. That's what that little thing is called. You say add it to the reading list. Boom, there it is in the reading list. And then this is synced. If as long as you've connected it, it's synced through the cloud, and you can read it anywhere you want, and if you stop in the middle, it'll come back to where you are. So it's really good.
Can you just take part of it, like get rid of the trees and all the other stuff? You
No.
can't just, the part you want? Okay.
But if you get one of those, if you get one that has the little lines on it, let me see if I find one with lines. Here's one that has the lines. This line, when you click it, will take away all the extraneous crap and just leave you the text. All right? And then if you want, you can save that as a PDF. Sorry, the Mac, you just go over here and say export as a PDF, and then you put it into iBooks as a PDF, and it's just that. It doesn't have the ads, it doesn't have all the extraneous garbage.
John, did you just want to know how to save like a picture?
No.
Well, no, just cut down the article, you only get.
You could also do a screenshot
Yeah.
of what you want to keep. You know what I'm talking about?
You all know how to do a screenshot, right? Command Shift 4, right? And then if when you move your cursor over, I can select the text here and save it as a screenshot. Or, you see it appeared up here. Or, if I do Command Shift 4 spacebar, I get just that window, and I save it, and I'll save just the window. So I can scan it. I don't know why my cursor is doing this weird stuff, but it's taking a really long time. I hope we get a new computer shortly, but this is driving me crazy. But anyway, so you can save a screenshot, or you can save the window just by doing Command Shift 4. Command Shift 3, of course, just copies the entire desktop. So that's what this is. There's the desktop picture. You see it's got all this extraneous stuff around it, right? But if I do Command Shift, so here's the screenshot of just that window. Everybody has that?
Marty,
Right?
is there a similar thing on an iPad? I know you can do a screenshot on an iPad, but can you do a selective screenshot on an
Not
iPad?
that I know of.
Okay.
You have to do the screenshot. But you can make the screenshot bigger, right? You can make your screen bigger. You know, you can just do one of those. Come on. Well, I guess it's fine.
Probably is if you Google it.
I don't know how to do that. Everybody knows on the iPad you do the sleep button and your home button at the same time.
Yeah.
Oops. That clown is the clown at the Cincinnati Contemporary Art Museum. It's not a real clown. It had a whole room of clowns. It's really good. And I was sitting next to it.
Looks like
Marty,
Right.
while you're there,
While I'm in Evernote,
no, while you're on the iPad,
okay.
I will sometimes find that my iPad is zoomed, and I can't get out of it without shutting the darn thing down.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
How does it happen? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. Does anybody know how it happens besides me?
Image.
Yeah.
Accessibility, bro.
General settings, right? General accessibility. And it says zoom right there. And if you have zoom on, it gives you all these various options. Zoom, if I turn it on, if I double tap with 3 fingers, it zooms the screen. And then you have to use 3 fingers to move that around the screen. So turn off zoom and then you won't have that happen.
Thank you.
The other thing that people do, which is very interesting, but accidentally actually, so they'll be doing this and they'll double tap the home button twice. But it doesn't happen on an iPad, does it? It only happens on the phone. I'll show you this.
Splits the screen.
No, it doesn't split the screen.
All right, moves the screen.
It raises it up and down. Then we do AirPlay. All right, so now we're looking at my iPad.
Sorry,
my iPhone.
William, I didn't,
Are you talking to me? Siri, I don't want to talk to you now. Quiet down, quiet down. So if I double tap the home button, it moves the icons to the bottom, right? All I'm doing is double tapping on the home button. Double tap it, I move the thing up, and double tap it, and move it back again. And the reason for that is the thumb people, you know how people text with two thumbs? I'm still a pointer texter. But if you're texting and you want to touch something at the top of the screen, you don't want to have to move your hand. That's too much work for that generation. So you just double tap the home button, and then the icon is right there. Get it? Double tap the home button. So that's just another neat feature. The comment that somebody made about the screen, I don't think you can do a double screen on an iPad, can you? No, on an iPhone, not. But on your iPad, you can learn all sorts of stuff today. You didn't have any idea, right? If you're on your iPad and you want to split your screen, and let's say read your mail at the same time, right? You just put your finger on the side of your device and push it over, whoops, push it over like that, so you get a half a screen. Get it? So watch the screen. I'm going to put my finger on the corner of my device. I'm going to put that screen over there, and then I can see my mail or whatever. And depending on what's on the left side, we can make that screen go halfway. Maybe I have to do this one. So here's 1Password. I can open 1Password. Here's my 1Password. I guess I have to make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing actually. Sorry. So what I've done is put my finger on this side of the iPad, slide it over, and I get a split screen, right? On your Mac, you can do the same thing. You all know that, right? Everybody knows how to do the split screen on the Mac?
no,
Oh, man. And this is free. Think of this. It's free. Next week at FGCU Renaissance Academy, you'd have to pay to hear me. Classes start next week.
Can change for $1?
Change for $1? Yeah, they're very expensive over there. They charge a lot of money. They charge $25 a class, I think, and $99 for the series. So anyway, so you put your finger here and you just sort of scroll it in. And then this little guy up here is how you turn it, is how you pick a different app. So I'm going to touch at the top there. I just pushed it down, right? And now I have all my apps here. So let's say I want to go open Adobe or Ancestry or the App Store. I just poke it, and that opens the App Store. And then up at the top here is that little thing again. They have little sliders everywhere, right? So here's my App Store. I could pick an app if I wanted. If I was reading something on the left side, I can pick it that way. Or I use it a lot for pages, and then this side, I'm going to add this and do something creative. Like I'll open my contacts, right, and then move my guy over. And then I can use mail. So I can go look up something on the left side, and then I can make a new message or do whatever I want on the right side. That's a split screen.
Can you get rid of that? Because when I touch the right side of the iPad, I seem to get ancestry up there all the time, you know. And I just
I'm sorry, say it again, it does what?
How can you get rid of that feature? Because when I do that to mine, all that comes up is ancestry. And then I just flip it again, but is there a permanent way to get rid of
What,
something?
you mean your ancestry comes up on the right side here?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
if you just pick that little, you see the little line at the top?
So that would get, okay, that'd be great.
Push that down, because my ancestry is here, right? It's alphabetical. There's ancestry, right? So my ancestry comes up, but if I want to close it, there's a little line at the top. You see right there, there's that little line? You just touch that little line, and it closes the app.
Thank you.
So are
The way to
those,
get rid of the whole thing is you just push that over to the right.
See, I wasn't aware what I was doing, you know, to get that to come up all the time.
Yeah.
Now,
Marty, are the apps automatic when you alphabetize?
I think so, yeah.
How do you do this split screen? I use an app for manipulating screens, top, bottom, left, right, max, move from monitor to monitor. A better, I forget, I've used a couple of them, but you say that on the MacBook, there's a very easy way to do split screen between two apps on the MacBook?
Yeah, now you're going to challenge me on how to do it. I know how to do it in some.
Yeah, I use Chrome almost exclusively, but it wouldn't matter, it's the app, right?
It doesn't matter.
It's not the green button just to maximize it, it's,
Well, this guy is how you make two things side by side. right?
okay.
You use the little green button.
And then you drag it like to the left or something?
No, you just hold it. And, let me see. So it's got to be not full screen, right?
Okay.
Hold the green button, and then you see the blue thing behind it.
Yes, yes.
Right? So now if I
You
move this over
place it in there,
here,
gotcha.
it puts it there, and then I can open anything else I want on the right side.
Gotcha, okay. Nice, thank you.
So it's a little green button.
But does that go into I don't like using it the screen because then it opens, I have to use four-finger swipe back and forth into the full screen mode. Does it keep it in full screen mode then? I guess I'll play with it.
It keeps it in half.
Well, if you click the green there, it'll go into full screen mode, right?
Right.
I don't like that mode.
I don't either. I
So,
rarely use it.
me too.
Rarely use that.
So that's why I don't use it, and I didn't even know about
I
that.
think you can change, let me see if in preferences, if you can change what the green button does. It's not going to be under green, it's going to be under full, right? I'll have to do a little research on that. I don't remember. I know there's a way to make the green button not go full screen.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think.
Would that be interesting?
Would it be under mission control?
Automatically rearrange spaces. That's how you get to spaces and dashboard and hot corners. I'll have to research that and put it on the group. I don't remember how to do that. But Jerry uses spaces a lot, and when he's back, he can explain spaces. I don't use spaces very much. Spaces is up here at the top. If you do F3, right? F3 lets you find the windows that are open, and then you can drag the guys up to the top bar. So you can have multiple things open at once and put them up there. Of course, I'm doing it, it doesn't work. But I'll do a little research on that, put it on the website. Bill?
When I'm moving my cursor through the dock, I will dislocate programs. It's very sensitive, and I don't intend to do that.
I'm just making a second.
Okay.
moving them through the dock, and it's very sensitive, and you don't intend to.
Yeah, they tend to move out of,
You know, like if you pick that up, it
yes,
moves very quickly.
but it does it without me putting my finger or selecting it.
Really? There's a setting, you remember, Jordan? Sensitivity of the mouse.
I think it's under trackpad, isn't it?
Yeah, trackpad mouse.
I've looked at that.
There's actually one for the mouse.
These are gestures. This is setting up. I don't remember where that is either.
You know, I have the same issue that I can have my cursor, if I leave it still for a second, it'll
Select it.
it'll click it on.
Yeah, same thing.
And I've never been able to figure out
I know there's a setting for that.
how to solve that. And I've gone through all those settings.
Okay.
So that would be helpful if we could do that.
I will look it up. Usually the people in the audience know this. Okay, what was the other question?
Marty, that tool I use every day, all the time, is Better Snap Tool is the one I use, called Better Snap Tool. I've used several of them. I use one called Magnet quite a bit, but I'm constantly splitting apps and moving apps from one screen to the next all day. I mean, I work from a Mac, and that I couldn't live without it. Better Snap Tool is the name of it. It allows you to set up a quick shortcut so you can just go, like, command space, left arrow splits it to the left, right arrow splits it to the right, top arrow splits it top bottom, and then a backspace moves it a full screen to the monitor next to me. So I can move them back and forth, up and down, just with a couple shortcuts. It's real nice.
Would you know the answer to my question? Where if my cursor is
I don't know that one, no. I've never had that happen on mine.
I know there's a setting. Question about VPN and security. Tell me your name again, I'm sorry.
Jean Goldberg.
Jean. What was your question about it?
Well, when we travel quite frequently, of course, all of us probably have the option to use a hotspot through our phone provider,
Yeah.
but I always feel rather insecure about using a personal hotspot, and I've heard a lot of people advocating the use of a VPN, and I just wondered if we could just have a brief discussion about the relative merits of the two, or...
Well, I don't know. I'll give my opinion. Somebody might know something different. Personal hotspots generally are very expensive because what you're doing is you're telling your provider that you want to be a server, that you want to sit there as your own hub. So they're going to charge you for the data as fast as you use it. My experience is you don't have to do that. Almost everywhere in the world now has free Wi-Fi. We were on the top of Machu Picchu, and we were at the Terracotta Warriors in China. I mean, anywhere we've been, there's free Wi-Fi. And there's always a Starbucks. So if you get really pressed, you go to Starbucks or you go to McDonald's. They have free Wi-Fi. So I would not recommend using a hotspot.
I talked about, I should have been a little more specific to personal, if you have personal financial transactions, highly sensitive data, not just carefree surfing public websites, for example.
Yeah, I mean,
generally
speaking, don't use a public Wi-Fi for any of that.
Right, I would not, but I just wondered about the relative merits of VPN and a personal hotspot for highly sensitive.
Well, VPNs are very good. You can pay for them. You use one, right?
Yeah, Mitch. I just got a new one, and it's called Cloak.
That's what I use.
There was an article. It came from one of our meetings. Somebody sent it out, and there were two mentioned in the article. And the reason I chose Cloak, and there was another one in the article as well, is that The article was talking about all VPNs are not the same. When you get a free one, you think your stuff is all private, but they're still sharing your stuff with AT&T or Verizon or somebody else. Not necessarily anybody in this room, it would probably protect you that way, and so I did not like the fact, and I did not know, that when I had that VPN on, that here Comcast or your internet provider could still actually see what you were doing. And so Cloak and another one were two that pride themselves in being completely secure. And I think it's $100 a year, and
I was just the other one.
It's 100?
Bob, you use it too?
99.
And don't you use it for the same reason? Do you
Uh,
remember that article?
I used it for about 3 years, and at that time I asked experience in the group,
Yeah.
and Cook was one of 3, and I chose it.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear what you say.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
CLOAK.
and they do offer a trial for a week or 14 days or something, but I have it, and when you buy it, it's good for all your devices, so I can use it on my computer, use it on my iPad, I can use it on my
Okay.
on my phone. The only disadvantage, it's funny you mentioned that, the only disadvantage is, well, I wasn't paying attention to Marty, I was going into Seeking Alpha, which is a stock site, and all of a sudden, it comes up forbidden site 404, and I don't know why that is, maybe they've had trouble with that site, but I always have to turn it off to start reading these financial reports on that site. I noticed that the other day, I kept on thinking, well, why isn't the Seeking Alpha stuff coming up? And as soon as I turned off the Cloak, I could get all the financial reports I wanted. And they were public financial reports, not my financial reports.
Now, do you use it at home then, too? It
No,
seems-
I tend
Or
to
just on
not,
the road?
I tend to not use it when I'm at home, I'll turn it off. And that's what they'll recommend. But if I'm at Starbucks or at the mall or in the airport, it's on. And it comes on automatically if you, and that's the other thing I liked. All the other ones I've tried, you had to remember, oh, I better turn this on.
Based on what Mitch said, well, first of all, I would not use one that's free. Because it's free, because they're giving your information to somebody.
Right.
I would use, and the one that most of us have been successful with over the years appears to be Cloak, the one I just mentioned. The other thing on the hotspot, I do use the hotspot periodically, but I have a plan with AT&T where I get, my wife and I share 10 gigabytes a month, and she uses none of it, and I use all of it, usually. And
You pay half of it?
And it, what's that?
You make her pay half of it?
Take all of it, Bob.
No, you don't mention that.
Yeah, my comment about,
I make her pay for a phone bill because she has a business. So, but, yeah, don't mention that.
my comment about personal hotspots was not for local use, it was for international. Because you're paying data. and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, oh.
We actually do a fair amount of travel in an RV, and the hotspot has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Because you're going down the road, and we've never had any additional charges, but it may be that the type of usage that we have for it, that it doesn't accumulate huge numbers.
Don't watch
Again, the
videos.
comment was data for international is very expensive. I mean, if you have a lot of money, you don't care. But in my case, spending $75 a day on data transmitted was seemed like a lot.
But
International.
as far as the hotspot is concerned, if I'm in Panera, for example, if I need to send a YouTube video, if I have to make a YouTube video at that time, and I quickly have to get it on YouTube, I have to really get on my hotspot and get off of the Panera site. Otherwise, it will take I can get it up there in 10 minutes versus 3 hours. So it's worthwhile. And what AT&T has now is a plan that, they used to have a plan where they would charge you right away when you hit your maximum. But now they have an option, when you hit your maximum, rather than charge you for the additional, they don't charge you, but they turn your speed way down. So I take it, I have that now.
Hey, Mitch?
Yes.
Have you noticed any performance issues with surfing with the VPN on?
I have not. I certainly haven't, like when I'm at home or I know that I'm in a Wi-Fi area like in here where it's pretty speedy. Now, I'm in Starbucks.
That's what I was thinking, Panera.
Where when I don't have it on, I'm having trouble. And I turn it on, I might notice a little bit, but I've tried several of them. I've tried free ones over the years. I've tried a lot of them. And this Cloak, I've only had it for a couple months now, but I'm certainly glad I have it.
Thank you.
In answer to your question, I used to have a speed issue in Panera when I had Cloak on, but no longer.
That's because you're a preferred user at Panera. Give you your own channel.
They would like me never to show up again.
No, they like you buying all that.
And it's off season.
Just as a sidelight, I don't know about the security issues because I haven't confronted that, but Opera has a built-in VPN.
Right.
And I don't know how secure that is. I haven't looked into that, but I will look into it. The Opera browser is pretty good.
Overseas data, if you have T-Mobile, there's no charge for data in Europe because it's partially owned by Deutsche Telekom.
Just in my experience with Globe, comes up automatically at the airport, doesn't come up at home. It kind of disappears in the bag. So I completely forgot about the rules and all of everything.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. It seems to come up automatically.
I paid for 1 month to try it, and then automatically, I could have canceled, but I didn't.
Does it work both on Mac and iDevices?
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have to get the app, but
But for the same $100?
yeah.
Yes.
Do you buy it from the web store? or
Yeah,
the app store?
the App Store is where you get it, and then it's a subscription that you pay for through the App Store, I believe.
Very easy process.
Oh,
Now, mine is billed directly from Cloak.
Is it?
Yeah.
kind of like one password. You
And
have
for
to
some
option.
reason, I got it for 99 cents.
What is the basis for your
For one
assurance that that information doesn't get beyond clock?
There was an article, I was trying to find the article, but I couldn't find it, and I thought I saved it somewhere, I probably did, and just can't find it, but there was an article on VPNs, and it was something like, and you might want to Google the subject, how private are VPNs, and you might see it. And there were, in this article, there were 2 that were recommended. Cloak was one of them, and then there was another one that said if you're more technically savvy and want to get into this one, and I wanted the easy way out. And it went on to specifically say that the ones that are free and your data, it'll be protected for people in this room, but Comcast or whoever the internet provider was gathering that data and could sell it or whatever, and that was the end of that for me. It's like, okay, I'll pay the $99 for the privacy.
Was the article in the journal?
I don't know. You have to Google it.
Okay, well,
It might be in our discussion group.
one of the other questions that came up was a rerun on how to add captions on iMovie.
Yeah, and I meant to say in trailers.
Oh, in trailers? All right, let me do this one first, and then I'll try and go to the trailer. So this is iMovie. I just click down here on the little purple star, It pulls up the timeline that we were working on a couple weeks ago when I did the iMovie class. And then the options that you have on your Mac are listed here. You can add media, you can add audio, you can add titles, backgrounds, and transitions, right? We're talking about the titles one, so let's look at titles. They give you a whole bunch of title options. Basically what these are different formats and different positions. You can just put your cursor over them and you see on the right side what the title text would look like and where it would be. You don't have to use them all. So for example, in this one, if I didn't want the text at the bottom, I would just leave it blank. Delete the text, the sample text that's there, and then it wouldn't appear. An easier way to do that would be to pick one that had only title where you wanted it, right? And then you would just pick one of those titles, drag it onto the text, onto the clip that you want. Now here's the title that goes with that clip. And then I would double click the top part, and it would give me the title somewhere right here. Title, title, title. And then I would click over here and I would add whatever text I wanted it to be. And as I add more and more text, it makes the text box smaller and smaller, right? So then I can add other text in other places. And the way you fix the duration here is you just sort of grab the end of it. Once you select it, you grab the end of it and then make it shorter or longer. So this one would only appear for a few seconds. It says 12.6 seconds of that clip. Okay, so that's in your regular timeline. You can add them at the beginning. If you want to not add them to a clip, you just drag that guy and drag it to the beginning or drag it to the end or wherever you want to put it, and you can make text appear. And we use that for like the scrolling thing at the end where you have your credits. You know, we do something like that. And then we add who's the director and who was in it and, you know, who composed the music and whatever. You can use these for anything you want. So that's how you add text on your timeline. Now you want me to add text to a project, to a trailer. So let me see if I can go back. All right, he's going to insist that I do that. So this is a trailer that we did also last week. And on a trailer is pre-formatted set of pictures and movies and captions that they've done for you. So let me just go back. I can show you what this thing looks like. $25. Well, this is a preset. Right? So it's trailer. It's I think a minute and a half or a minute 30, whatever. And your captions appear here. So here's where it says name and date, then it says movie name, right? And I click movie name, and instead of calling this thing the Princess Tales, I'm going to call it Nmug Tuesday, right? But you just click in the space where the title goes. You do the same thing on the next one. This is Marty's class, and the dandelion is my logo style, right? And then I go down to credits, and I click on the credit, the next credit.
You clicked on something in the upper left that I can't read. It's to get to trailer.
How do I get to trailers? Yeah, when you open a new project, right, it gives me the choice here of creating new, and I can create a new movie or a new trailer. So it's a project, right? You can create a movie or a trailer, and then when you pick a trailer, you get the options of the trailers that Apple has given us, right? Different formats. You can listen to each of these. You know, let's say you want a Halloween Yes, that doesn't work.
It's controlled in the back.
Oh, it's controlled back there. Right.
Marty,
So you just pick a trailer subject and then you fill in your caption.
Marty, can you go back and open your the trailer you had made?
Sure.
The one with your wife?
The one with my wife?
Well, the one you were just showing us.
No, my wife's not doing this. She told me
Made
I
a
can't
trailer.
use her without, she told me I can't use her without her permission. So this is the one we were just looking at.
Okay. Now, if you go to File up in the menu bar, this might have.
What are you looking for?
No, there used to be, yeah, right there. Wait a minute, I'm not sure.
What are you looking
What
for?
I used to be able to do is convert a trailer into a project, and then I could do anything I
Yeah,
wanted.
you can. Yeah, right here, it says convert trailer to movie.
Okay.
So if you didn't want to use the minute-and-a-half format for your trailer, you could then use it and convert it to a movie and make it 14 minutes or whatever you want, and change the order and change the captions and all that kind of stuff. Right? But, you know, most people will do a trailer because they just want to put together, you know, you take 18 clips, right, boom, boom, boom. You put them together as a trailer, and then you send them to your friends, or you send them to the people who were at the movie, at the event, whatever. The other way to do it is you make a movie, but then you have to do all the work yourself. So.
And this is great, because it's short, and most people.
And
would
your
rather
attention
see
span
it.
is a minute and a half, and you're done. But, you know, the bar mitzvah thing I showed you a couple weeks ago was 14 minutes. Well, only a family at a bar mitzvah is going to watch 14 minutes. That's it. Okay, other questions on iMovie? Anything else? Yeah, and the fifth class I run at Renaissance Academy is on iMovie, hands-on, good. I'm not plugging iMovie, I'm not plugging Renaissance Academy for any reason other than, you know, sometimes people want to go take 3 hours of iMovie or 3 hours of photos. What was the other question? There was one more question here. You had a fishing episode you wanted to talk about.
Oh my, I wish I had the exact message here. I tried to get it off my system as fast as possible, but yesterday morning I received a message that said, it was from, it looked a little bit strange to me, so I hovered my cursor over and I couldn't see anything, and I did click on the person that sent it, but it said Apple ID, and then there was something strange, and I called Apple Care. And the message actually said something like, you need to verify your, really bad message, terrible. So I called Apple Care. They told me to forward this message to them, and I had to do that. I didn't want to deal with this message or even forward it to them, but they requested that I do.
You got my answer, right?
And it was Apple, yes, it was Apple ID, and it had something
Oh, yeah.
messy.
I get the Apple ID one regularly,
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, really?
I get USAA, which is where my financial stuff is stored, and it looks so much like USAA, except
Yes.
for the little security code that they put in the corner that says, this is how you know it's legitimate.
And
But my name is in the text, you know, your
But-
recent transaction was
Yeah.
because somebody made an automatic deposit. How do they know that?
But when you hover your cursor over it, you should be able to see the address, and I could not. I hovered the cursor
Very
there and
sophisticated.
paused to try to see who had sent this message.
We covered this a couple
Same
weeks ago.
thing.
You did yesterday?
And yes.
And it said
I
something
clicked on
about,
it, it was a person's name from Quantasambustein or something.
oh, no, this
It was
was,
a big
this was different. There was some information that it had been on a Mozilla.
Your bank will never call you that way. IRS
Oh,
will
I know
never
that.
call you that way.
No, I
And
know.
Apple will never call you that way. And who else? Anybody else? Will
Yeah.
never call you. Except Bank of America will call you, but it's Mitch.
My problem was that.
Send your money to
Yeah,
Mitch.
but I get the same thing with all my stuff's with Bank of America, and I get Bank of America emails that look completely legitimate. And usually I just hover the cursor over the.
That's the problem I
and
had.
And it shows up.
That was the problem, because I knew.
And then I
immediately
report
I
them, they
should
have a site to report that stuff to, and I report them. But the other one I get them from all the time is PayPal. I just got one,
Your
just got one 2 days
Your account is
ago.
going to be terminated unless you do blah, blah, blah.
Or there's a charge on your account, we need to verify.
But what, I knew this was something I didn't want to deal with, but when I hovered my cursor over who had sent it, the sender, it didn't reveal the identity. And that really, that's the only, and plus the fact that when I called Apple Care, they insisted that I forward the message to them, and I really didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
But
The other
they
option.
had a phishing site report site that they wanted me to send it to, so.
That's usually safe to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know that you're talking with Apple, because I know that Bank of America, they actually have a site, I have it in my bookmarks,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. So when I get an email that I even suspect anything, I just forward it to their.
Yeah, you're safe doing that.
Yeah. I just never click on anything to open it up.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So what else do we have to cover? Anything that came to mind while we're chit-chatting?
I'm having trouble uninstalling Gold Raven.
Uninstalling what?
Gold Raven. It's a
Gold Raven.
G-O-L-D-R,
R-A-V-E-N? Raven?
R-A-I-V-E-N.
R-A-I-V-E-N.
And when I Google it and go to an Apple site, I'm advised to use malwarebytes.com.
Right.
Does that work?
Well, Malwarebytes is one I've had good success with, if it's malware. That's what I would try first.
Thank you.
Malwarebytes is good software. There's lots of weird software out, so you got to make sure you use the right one. But it's for removing programs that aren't supposed to be there. You know, when you download something and you don't read all the little clicky things that say, make this your home page and add this extra software and add this extra software, and you wind up with 3 or 4 new things that you didn't know you were supposed to get. And Malwarebytes is a good, reliable program to remove that kind of stuff. But if you're a beginner, just ask one of us and we'll help you remove it.
I spent my whole career in academic medicine research, and I'm rather intensely involved now with healthcare issues. Letters to the editor, one in the Wall Street Journal just a couple of weeks ago, sent another one in this morning, and I'm linked up pretty well with them. I would like to have more impact yet. I wonder about things like Facebook and LinkedIn. I've never been involved. I'm involved a little bit in that I get things about Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever. I'm looking for a more effective, even more effective mechanism, and with the capacity for some interaction with other folks relative to the issue. And just seek some advice about venues like Facebook and what have you. I know people who spend a lot of time with it, and I don't want to waste my entire day with it. But I'm curious.
Any feeling?
Or websites.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have LinkedIn, and I have over 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I probably know about 5 of them. And I never really used LinkedIn at all. And I thought about deleting the account several times. But Facebook I do have now, and I think I might be a little bit, I have a few more friends than people in my age group, but the number of friends you have depends on how old you are. And the older you are, the less friends you have.
That's because they keep growing.
Now, that's one reason, but the other reason is because, you know, these kids, they just, I mean, like my son, he's 40 years old, he's probably got 700 friends, but they just friend everybody. Oh yeah, I can meet somebody, yeah, let's hook up on Facebook. And now I have about 120 friends, and about once a year I go through and I'll determine who I want to delete. Most of them that I have are either some high school friends that I've been able to locate, all my family members and cousins and things that if it weren't for Facebook, I'd never hear from them. So I've been in touch with family members a lot more through Facebook over the last 3 or 4 years than I was before I was on Facebook. I'm friends with George on Facebook.
No.
Yeah. That shows you how low my standards go. I use it mostly, and like with the kids and grandkids and that kind of stuff, I see pictures on Facebook that they would never send me. They'd never email me. And you can download them I can download them right onto my computer. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't dropped it. But I can tell you that Facebook, for every page that comes up, about, I'd say 80% of them now are ads, aren't they, George?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. About 80% of them are ads, and so you just flip through them and just, you know, and there's some neat stuff on there, and so I've kept it, and
you had a comment back there?
There's a blogging platform that seems to really have a huge impact right now in your field, potentially. It's called Medium, M-E-D-I, yep, exactly. And I've noticed a huge trend the last 2 years of everybody that normally would have had their own blog, like on their website, they're all moving to Medium now. I mean, all the players in the IT that I follow, they've almost completely stopped blogging on their own website, and they've gone to Medium. And it's a real excellent platform. I follow a fair amount of people that they've got a very fine-tuned app. But if you're wanting to have an impact, of course, Facebook and these other venues are viable. But if you've got articles and you're really writing and trying to make penetration into the blogosphere, which I think you might want to, I think Medium might be something you would want to check out. And they've got a lot of really great tools. They seem to be, really making some inroads.
Are they like TEDs, T-E-D?
Well, they're probably more like, what's that? My daughter has what's the other blogging platform that's real popular?
Blogspot.
Not Blogspot, after Blogspot. I never really played around with it much, but Medium is really for professionals and IT professionals and medical, social issues, law, economics. I mean, it just seems to more and more I find people, now they're on Medium. Now they're on Medium. It's a real...
Medium started as a video site, right?
I don't know the history of it.
Because I get the Medium videos. I'm pretty sure it's the same site, and they do some fantastic videos.
I don't think it was. I don't think that's the same.
Subject
I know what you're talking about. I don't think there's a connection. There might be, but I don't think so.
Okay. My son has done.
No, it's
my son
Medium.
blogs a lot in the medical field, and he's made his own site. And then because of his professional society connections, he's gotten a bunch of.
I may have to do that.
Yeah, that's what he's done, and he has an ongoing dialogue with hundreds of people he's sort of like you are, he does research on stuff and wants to publish it.
Most people are not aware that there are hundreds of thousands upon thousands of closed political groups or just closed groups on Facebook. I'm on Facebook and don't use anything, on my personal wall, but I'm on a number of political groups here in Florida. But on the Facebook search line, you put in any possible topic. Medical groups, medical alumni, if you're a floral orchid fan. I happen to be on unitewomen.org/Florida, and which has 3,000 members, and Women's Alliance of Southwest Florida. These are all mostly political groups, and I don't know your persuasion, but if you're looking for other medical alumni or any possible subject, there's a closed or an open group on Facebook. So I think it kind of busts the myth sometimes that people think Facebook is only for socializing or ads, but any possible group that you want to join, either locally, state, international, for any possible interest, there's a group for it on Facebook.
Is that obvious when you log on to Facebook?
No, you have
No,
this, it's not the Google line, it's the Facebook line. The Facebook search bar line, you just put in any topic there and you'll get hundreds of groups that you can join, and then people.
I'd like to make a comment to George.
Interesting, thank you.
To George, that when we come back in September, it would be very useful to have a session how to use Facebook safely. Because Facebook, everywhere you go, tries to steal your information. Everywhere tries to get you into something that where you don't want to be. So
that would be a good meeting.
So I think we need
Jeff
a
is an
meeting
expert in that
how to
area.
use it safely.
Right.
Good idea.
And I'm glad you brought up those groups, because I do use a lot of groups, because I'm a skier. So I belong to a lot of ski groups, and I follow a lot of professional skiers, and that's exactly the way you get them.
You can either be in an open or a closed group where you have to be invited to join, or you can ask, you click a bar that just says ask, to join. I don't know if they track you on the closed groups,
Sure.
I
They
don't.
track everything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, Marty, you got to come.
Two things. One, I have some sort of app, I don't even know what it is, that it blocks ads on Facebook, and I still get some ads, but it took away a bunch of them, so I don't know for that.
But you don't know what the app is.
No, and I've had it for several years, so you could probably just Google block Facebook ads. And then the second thing on the power of Facebook, I went to Sweetbriar College, and about 2 years ago, some crooks tried to close down the college and steal all the money. And it became a national story because it's one of the few remaining women's colleges. And the young people all pulled together on Facebook and I guess Twitter, I'm not on Twitter, all across the world. The alumni formed, all within the space of like 24 hours, they formed legal teams, forensic accounting teams, PR teams, HR teams. It was absolutely stunning how it played out. And meanwhile, and this was all going on Facebook and Twitter, on social media, and meanwhile on the mainstream media, the New York Times, the Washington Post, they're giving stories about dying women's college, the death of the college, and blah, blah, blah. And on Facebook, they raised something like $20 million in 2 months, and it was all through Facebook and Twitter. So there's a lot of power there. It is two-sided because there's a lot of garbage, but I was just completely stunned.
Mark, could you real quick show us how to get on to our Yahoo group so you can search posts that have been done over the last 10 years? And that probably has VPN stuff on there.
So if you go to, so Mitch's question is how do you search the Yahoo? Thanks for sharing. So when you're in Safari, You go to Yahoo, and if you, I think you can do it from here, if you look for Nmug, up comes Nmug discussion group. And here are the instructions on how to access the group and how to join the group. You have to be a member in order to access the data, so you have to sign in to the Naples Mug user group, discussion group. Sorry. This is our website. Yeah, actually, the interesting question was how did we get to be number one on when you search? The Fort Myers discussion group doesn't come up at all, and he wanted to know how to do that. I said, I don't know. We just put it in, and it came up. Or we came up early. Now, I guess maybe you have to go to groups.
Yeah, who knows where you are?
Yeah, I don't really know how we got it. It used to be that you could search groups.
What about when you search Yahoo?
Yeah, that's our terms. That's the terms.
The expert on this is Jerry.
I've never searched, because when I do it at home, I just sign in. There you go. So it's this bar across. You get to groups. Or I guess up here, groups.yahoo.com, right? And then you search Nmug. This is the Goya Mac user group. All right, let's try Naples. Mac friends.
90 members to that.
Oh, there's only 12 people in the whole thing. You're asking me to do something I've never done, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've had it up myself, and I just don't remember how I did it.
When I do,
What you do, I think, when
when
you
all
go
else
into
fails,
your own site,
when all else fails, you sign
go
in.
into your own Yahoo, sign up.
And now when all else fails, look at one password. Right? Come on, come on, come on.
You don't have one password in the menu bar?
Well, this is not my computer, so.
Oh, right.
Oh, look at this. That's too complicated. Let me do it here.
You can't get to it through our Mug website?
No. I'm working on it.
They'll have that figured out.
Well, I'd like to be able to just link to it, but it's,
Can't do it.
I haven't,
Let's give